Hi, welcome. This is part 2, so let's get started. So simplify the following fractions. Well, the really cool thing is that we're going to be able to use calculators, and actually on a lot of our calculators we can simplify fractions pretty easily, but for this you want to look for numbers that will fit into both. So I know 3 fits into both of these, so you just divide the top and bottom by 3, so you would get 5 over 9, and then 24 over 26. My first gut instinct is to do 2, so I'm going to start with 2, and then if that doesn't work you can do it again, so that's going to be 2 and 13, but that doesn't break down anymore. Here we have 14 and 16, but we also have an x, so remember our rules about exponents that we subtract them, and since that's 1 and 1, that's going to subtract to 0, and then I think 2 goes into both of those, that'd be 7 and 8. Here again we're going to subtract, but we'll be left with 1x left over. And 6 and 18, I think 3 goes into both, so that would be 2 and 6. Oh, actually, we can go that further. That's 1/3 x, and we could put the x on top, or we could put it to the side. We could also do x over 3, so either one of those two would be sufficient for us. Okay? All right, next one. Okay, so when we're adding and subtracting fractions, we need the denominator to be the same, so common denominator. And so for this one, 5 and 4 can both go into 20. So sometimes if you just multiply those two numbers, that's going to be your common denominator. And so to get 5 and 4, to get to those, we have to multiply them. And whatever you multiply the top, you need to multiply by the bottom the same, because this is technically 1. So this is going to be 3 times 5, which is 15, 4 times 5, which is 20, which again we wanted the base number to be 20. And this one we're going to multiply top and bottom by 4, so we get 8 over 20. And then we can just add the tops to get 23 over 20. And that's our final answer. So same thing over here, we can do 3 times 4, which is 12, so we know they'll both go into that. So multiply top and bottom by 3. This one will multiply top and bottom by 4. So we get 44 over 12. Minus 15 over 12, and then we just have to subtract those two, and I get 29 over 12, and we can leave them as improper fractions to make sure we're doing okay. Multiplying fractions, you just multiply straight across. That's going to be 40 over 180, and then when we simplify 40 over 180, we should get down to 2 over 9. And then this one, we don't ever divide, we multiply by the reciprocal, so it's going to be 4 over 9 times, the reciprocal just means you flip it, so 15 over 4 instead of 14 over 15. Multiply straight across, so 4 times 15 is 60, and then 9 times 14 is 126. And then again, we reduce that, I think it goes in 6 times for each, and then we get 10 over 21. So what's the reciprocal of the fraction? Again, we just kind of did the reciprocal there. It's just flipping it. Opposite just means to change the sign, so it's going to be a negative instead of a positive, 5 over 3. Okay, now we get down to FOIL and box method. I did kind of show how box method worked in class. I'll show that again for you guys. So this is this first one actually right here. So box method is you kind of take the x minus 6, the x plus 8, and you put it on the left side of the box and the top of the box, and then you multiply in, so x times x, 8 times x, negative 6 times x, and 8 times negative 6. And then you're going to have to combine like terms to get our answer of x squared plus 2x minus 48. So that's that first one. And then this next one we can do, I'm going to show foiling. So for foiling, it's just taking the first term and multiplying it to the next two, and then taking the last term and multiplying it to the next two. So you should get something like this. 2x times 4x is 8x squared. 2x times 5 is 10x. And then we go negative 3 times 4 is negative 12x. Negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. Combine like terms, we get 8x squared minus 2x minus 15. Alright, so 53, 54, 55, 56, let's go ahead and do those. So over here, first you have to distribute the 4, because that comes 4x minus 20, and then parentheses 2x minus 9. I'm going to do FOIL for just the matter of speed. So 4x times 2x is 8x squared. 4x times 9 is going to be a negative 36x. 20 times negative 2 is going to be a negative 40x. Negative 20 times a positive, negative 9 is going to make up, a positive 180. So we get 8x squared minus, these are both negatives, so we're going to combine them to make 76x plus 180. Okay, maybe I should put that answer right in here, in case you're skimming through my video and just checking your answers, so you'll see it. This next one, we have x minus 8, x plus 8. So I'll box method this one because why not? So x times x is x squared, then we have negative 8x, positive 8x, and then negative 64. So when we have a difference here, the middle term actually is going to end up canceling out because 8x and negative 8x is going to cancel. So we end up with x squared minus 64. And this one, x minus 11, we can actually just write that as x minus 11 again. And we can FOIL this one. We'll go x and that, so that's negative 11x. And then, I totally messed that up, sorry. It's x squared, I'm like way over here, let's try that again. X squared minus 11x, and then negative 11x, and positive 121. Sorry about that. Combine like terms, that's why I probably should be sticking with the box method. So negative 11 is negative 22x plus 121. And then this one, a little bit longer. So we're going to distribute, so we get 4x squared, and then 4 times negative 7 is, I think, 28, negative. And then we're going to box method that. Let's box method this so I don't make a mistake. It's a little sketchy on that last one. Okay, so I have it all set up. And then we get 4x squared times x. That's going to be 4x cubed. And then we get negative 28x. And then this is going to be 12x squared. And then 3 times 28, I have the calculator off to the side, negative 84. Okay, none of them are like terms because we have a 3, 2, 1, and no exponent. So we just write them out in descending order. There you go. That's the final answer. Okay, now factoring. I think I factored these ones on a different piece of paper, maybe. Let me see. I may or may not have. I'm not sure. Yeah, so I did factor this one. So the typical pattern of factoring is that we would take this little x method, and you take the 12, the back number, put it on top, negative 8 on the bottom, and say what two numbers multiply to 12 but add to negative 8. So it's just kind of like a little math puzzle that you have to solve. Once you get the right numbers, then you can just put them into the binomial. So let's try this one. So we got negative 30, by the way. This one was x minus 6 and x minus 2. So we get negative 30 and 13. So what numbers multiply to negative 30 but add to 15? So I like to just go through all the different combinations that make 30. So 1 times 30, well, 1 times 30 would never make 13. 2 times 15, that could make 15 or 13. So I'm going to do that, right, if they subtracted. So one of them has to be a different sign. Since 13 is positive, I want the smaller one to be negative. And so we get x plus 15 and x minus 2. This one, we have a coefficient in front, which means we factor differently. But before I do that, I look for a GCF. They all have a 2, so I can actually pull a 2 out first. And now that I've done that, I can actually go ahead and see if I can just normal factor this. What multiplies to 18 but adds to 9? Let's see here. I think 3 and 6 will do the trick. So we leave that 2 outside and we get x plus 3 and x plus 6. And that's it. All right, thank you so much. We'll see you guys. If you have more questions, we can go over it later.